Yo, what's up? This is your boy Derek Branch here, SportsView360.com, covering the Memphis Tigers men's basketball program. And tonight, Tigers fell short by a score of 83 to 77 against the Ole Miss Rebels today. They followed a 1-1 on the season. Ole Miss is now 3-0 on the season, 3-0 at home. Memphis is now 0-1 on the road, but I mean the season just started for them. Ole Miss had started, playing basketball well before the Tigers. Their season started before Memphis. Memphis season started this past Saturday, so this second game of the season. But I know that more victories don't do a whole lot for Memphis in regards to the brackets, in regards to quad one and quad two victories, things like that. But I take this from it. I like a lot of things that I saw tonight. Multiple guys had some huge contributions in this game. Now, if you listen to the broadcast and you listen to what Penny Hardaway said, a few days ago, he said that the score, in regards to the scoring output for this team, he stated that it's going to be, different. It's going to be done by committee, for the time being until you find that go-to guy, that one of those, one or two scorers that you can count on. And maybe we may have found that out tonight going forward as we advance into the season, deeper into this season, deeper into this schedule, non-conference schedule. Sincere Parker had 10 points. Dug McDaniel had 15. He's been a really good scorer so far for this team. Curtis Givens had 20 points. So there's no way he's coming out of the starting five. Thierno Sylla, huge defensive presence tonight, despite being in foul trouble. He had 5 rebounds overall, 1 assist, 2 blocks. Um, Look, one or two of these guys, gonna be the top scorer for Memphis. Real soon. I know last year you could easily find out who that was gonna be. Last year you had PJ Haggerty, you had Tyrese Hunter, you had your go-to shooters out there that can really area the team. But for this squad, man, I think it's coming. And I think this team is I know there are a lot of people that I've listened to, online and all that, and some of the Facebook groups, just kind of express some concerns about the team. And I know one guy told me that there wasn't a lot of high expectations for this team, and I respect everybody's opinion. But I'm like, to me, like, what are you basing that off of? What are you basing it off of? What I mean, they ain't step on the court yet, and what makes you think there's low expectations for the team? And tonight, I know tonight they lost, but this wasn't a blowout. Memphis was kept this game within reach. It's just that he did even though you got guys that in the starting lineup had double, had 20 and 15 and 10 points. You didn't find that guy, haven't identified that guy that could come in and close out a game. That's the issue right now for Memphis. Who is that guy that can you put the ball in his hand and say, "Hey, go, let's finish these guys off"? Because if you had that tonight, and I'm not knocking Memphis for this, I'm not knocking Coach Hardaway for this, but if you had that guy tonight, if he was identified tonight, Ole Miss would have lost because Memphis kept this game close. It kept the game close, and I know going into halftime, Ole Miss went on a 6-0 run, and I felt as though the dam was gonna break on the game for Memphis. But coming out of halftime, it was looking like Ole Miss was about to run away with it, but Memphis just kind of like stayed within reach. And if you know anything about Memphis basketball these last couple of years, sometimes a lot of times when they stay within reach like that, They come out. Sometimes they win. They win games. You know, but that didn't happen tonight because you just had that guy that could come out there and close out Ole Miss because they got it real close. This game was real close towards the end. You know, but every time Memphis would like get in reach of it, get in reach of that Ole Miss lead, um, one of the Ole Miss guys made a big shot. You know, they had a lot of guys came through tonight. You know, Elias Cumberdine, he had 26 points, played 35 minutes, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. He had a huge night. Um, Keys Agifa, he had 15 points, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, one steal. Um, Malik Dia, 13 points on 29 minutes, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. Let's look at the box at the stats. In regards to the rebounding tonight, Ole Miss had 32. Memphis had 33. Turnovers. Let's see. Memphis had 7 turnovers tonight. That's interesting. 7 turnovers. Ole Miss had 7 turnovers. But man, look, Memphis had if the Tigers had a closer tonight, had a closer on this team right now, they would have won it. But I like you got to be encouraged by what you saw tonight. So that's the more victory you can take out of this. But going forward, can you do they have will it find that guy, that player that can come through for this team and beat teams like Ole Miss? Because I'm pretty sure tonight would have been with a quad two victory. I don't know because I think Ole Miss is going to be good this year again. You know what I mean? But I like what I saw out of Curtis Gibbons. Maybe he is that guy. You know, Dug McDaniel. We know what he can do. We know about Sincere Parker. I like having Thierno Sylla in the starting five. Huge defensive presence tonight, despite the circumstances, despite him getting into foul trouble. You know, Aaron Bradshaw's quiet tonight though. Only 20 played 20 minutes, 1 block, 1 point. Didn't do a whole lot tonight. You know, but it's still time. There's still time for the Tigers to make up for this. You know, there's opportunities in the classic. They're going to play Purdue. You got a chance right there, and those other teams, and that's going to be in that tournament. So there's going to be opportunities for Memphis to make up for this. Then you got UNLV before you play at Purdue, and that's going to be a big game by itself. You know, in itself because of the storyline, which is former Tigers head coach Josh Pastner returning to Memphis. As head coach of the UNLV Rebels. So that would be a huge opportunity to gain ground. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it all play out, man. Tigers lose tonight by a score of 83-77. Could have been a close. It was to me, it was a close game, but there's still a lot of basketball left to be played. So we'll see how it all play out. All right. So that's what I have for y'all for right now. Give me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you feel. What were your takeaways from tonight's game? Memphis loses today by a score of 83-77. Have a blessed night. Peace. I'm out.